This is Eric Rutan of Cannibal Corpse. You are listening to the Scars and Guitars podcast with Andrew McKay Smith.
Thanks for tuning in to the show. I appreciate it because I've got a conversation with Carmine Appice, and I believe that's how you pronounce his surname. I'm sure somebody will jump on it and tell me that it's not, but I think all three prominent members of the Appice clan pronounce their surname differently. Anyway, conversation for another time. You know who I'm talking about because it's Carmine Appice. He's the one of the guys that invented rock drumming as we know it. Let's face it, that's just how important he is. Now, the catalyst for the conversation with Carmine comes about due to the release of Stop in the Name of Love. Of course, it's a cover, but the band is very prestigious. It's Vanilla Fudge, and this could very well be Carmine's and Vanilla Fudge's, not Carmine's, but Vanilla Fudge's final release. It remains to be seen, of course, but it looks that way. So that's the catalyst for the chat. As I've alluded to, though, we talk about his career and a whole bunch of other things associated with Carmine and what he's accomplished throughout the past 50 or 60 years even, I think it is at this point. What a guy to talk to. I had nowhere near enough time to cover all of the questions that I'd like to ask, but either way, I hope you enjoyed this conversation with Carmine Appice.
Good day, Bruce.
Hey, how you going?
Good. I did my Australian for you. Good day, Bruce.
Bruce. Well, you've been here a few times. You know we love you down here.
Yeah, I love it. I love your Australian accent. I fell in love with an Australian girl down there, and I didn't realize until I brought her to London that I wasn't really in love.
And you had this girl following you around the world, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
I see a set of drums there. What's that?
It's my daughter's drums. Yeah.
They look a little small.
Yeah.
I got mine here. I got mine over here.
I can see. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Look at all those gold and platinum records on your left-hand shoulder there. That's wonderful.
I keep going. I'm not quite like Kenny Arnold. That's 1,300, I was told.
You're up there, though. I remember years ago talking to Bob Daisley about you.
Oh, yeah, Bob. I get emails every day from Bob.
Is that right? Yeah. No,
Bob is a anti what's going on in the world now, including anti-vaccine, anti-virus, anti-government, anti-everything. I finally said to him, dude, don't you have something else to do?
I think, I don't know. I did hear one of his interviews where he started to talk about it, but then pulled himself up because he realised that he'd probably be attacked online. So he's clearly sending it out to friends and family messages.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. And, I think what he's trying to do, I told him I had the vaccine. He says, I'm sorry. I said, okay, well, I had to have it because, I'm traveling, Getting on planes, sitting next to people on double masks. I carry wipes. I carry the sanitizer and do my best not to get this damn thing.
Yeah, I know. Actually, I just went to the doctors yesterday, and they put a bit of pressure on me to get it because my wife already works in a COVID clinic. I just don't.
So you haven't gotten the vaccine yet either?
No, I haven't, but I'm not against it. I just haven't got around to it, to be honest with you. And at the moment, I just don't need to get it because I'm in the state of Queensland and we're locked off from everybody. So we're in a bubble here. So there's nobody coming in and there's nobody really going out.
Wow. Yeah, I know. Bob said that Australia is like locked down.
Yep.
Yeah, I moved to Florida, and Florida's been open the whole time. When I moved here, we go out to restaurants and we did everything, But we have a couple acres of land, and we're not like right next to anybody, So it's pretty cool. But,
I think Florida had the right idea. Florida and Texas, insofar as it's about the individual choice. I think that's what it needed to come down to. That's the only issue I've got is that vaccine mandates, like in Australia now. I know this is the case with Amazon, I think, isn't it, and big companies like that in the States, but in Australia, companies are now mandating if you want to keep your job, you've got to get a vaccine. And I think that's wrong.
Yeah. Well, that happened in our business. Well, we went going on the road with my brother next week. We told everybody they have to be vaccinated. We're going to be sitting in cars with them. We're not going to sit in cars with somebody that's not vaccinated, because it's a definite truth that whoever has been vaccinated has definitely been, if they got sick, and a couple of friends of mine got sick and they're vaccinated, and it was like a cold. And you got other people that are not vaccinated and they get near to death.
Your situation, though, when you're in a traveling band like that, if one person gets it and goes through the entire camp, then you can't work. Yeah. It's that simple. No, I understand that with your position.
Yeah.
But,
so we said, hey, look, either get vaccinated or stay home.
Yeah.
And same thing with Phil. Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about the good stuff.
Let's talk about what you're doing here. Yeah. Look, it's a privilege to finally chat to you, by the way. I read your book, loved your book, love your drum. I'm a bassist, so you're one of those drummers I always sort of imagine that if you're in my top 5, put it that way. In terms
thank you. Who's the other 4?
Nick Barker. I don't know whether you're familiar with some death and black metal drummers. Nick Barker from Cradle of Filth. Pete Sandoval, who I've spoken to a few times he's a Floridian. He's in Morbid Angel.
Morbid Angel. I know them. Yeah. Okay.
Morbid Angel. And then you start getting into Copeland, Phil Copeland.
Stuart Copeland.
Stuart Copeland.
Stuart Copeland.
Yeah. Guys like that. Yeah, guys like that. It tends to change, but I love your. What's his name? Cozy Powell. God bless his soul. Was another one.
Yeah.
Yourself. I love what you and Cozy did, though, with just a huge bass drum sound. You can never lose.
That came from Vanilla Fudge. It was back in the day when we started playing. There were no PA systems. So I got in a pawn shop. That's PAWN, right? In a pawn shop, a 26-inch bass drum by 15 or 16. It was a huge drum, and it was loud. So I thought, well, this will work. So I recovered it with my red sparkle, matched my kit, and I put the paper in like I normally put in. And man, when I hit that thing, it was loud. So that became the first 26 bass drum in rock. And then when I got my Ludwig endorsement, I said, well, I always wanted to play 2 bass drums. So I'm going to get 2 26s and it'd be double the trouble, And then at that time, you had Cozy and Bonzo used to hang out together, and they were listening to all the stuff I did. And then when Led Zeppelin opened up for Vanilla Fudge, and I got John Bonham the same kit, and then he was like, and then Cozy was like blown away, and so was Bonham with that kit. And then Cozy got to play with Jeff Beck instead of me because we were going to do the band, and he got Cozy. And then also later on, when I was asked to join Rainbow and I couldn't, they got Cozy. And I kept saying, are you my professional replacement or what? But we were friends, and me, John Bonham were friends. But I didn't realize how gaga both of them were about my playing until I read the Thunder of Drums book, by, I think it was somebody from Melody Maker wrote it,
Okay.
Yeah, and it was like amazing, but yeah, and and I love Stuart Copeland. I love reggae. I love the way he mixed it up. Matter of fact, this other project I'm doing is called a Piece Perdomo project, and it's an all instrumental album. It's coming out at the end of the month. There's one song out now called you can get it on YouTube called "Rocket to the Sun." Okay. We did a rock jazz reggae instrumental version of "Do You Think I'm Sexy?"
Nice.
Which is really cool. And, and I wrote a book called Realistic Reggae because I loved it so much. And when I was with Rod, we used to play reggae. I never knew what reggae was until I came to England in 1973. And I heard it and I thought it sounded like 50s music, with the chord changes. And
definitely.
Then I realized what the drums were doing. They were totally backwards. And then I started listening. I started playing it. I played in 76. I did an album with Rick Gretsch and Mike Bloomfield. We had a reggae song on there. And then with Rod, we used to do Maggie May and then go into a reggae version at the end.
Nice.
And we did that all over the world. And we did a song called The Track Is Female Wanted on the second album I did with Blondes Have More Fun, which is a reggae-oriented song. So I love reggae, and Stewart's one of my favorites too.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this new Vanilla Fudge song isn't reggae.
No, but it's an excellent song. I had it on about 5 or 6 times yesterday. Actually, I work from home. As if we go anywhere these days, but working from home, I had it on in the background. But the Supremes, Stop in the Name of Love. Would you call it a double A side? Because I did get the other side, the other recording, the tribute to your bandmate and bassist and vocalist Tim Bogart. So, is it would you consider it a double A side as a release?
Well, I mean, we did the talking word as a B-side because our manager said they're going to release it as a single. We need a B-side. He said, I think it would be cool if you guys talk about Tim. And my girlfriend, my wife, we've been with her 18 years. She's a radio talk show host in New York for years. She has a podcast that was just voted number 25 of a documentary podcast. On Apple Music and all that. And she, I said, well, would you do this for us? Would you put this together? So she put the whole thing together. She interviewed me, Vinny and Mark, put the music together and made the whole flow, And when we heard it brought a tear to my eye. And I sent it to Tim's wife. She started crying, And a few people I talked to today said when they listened to that, it brought a tear to their eye,
Nice, yeah.
And it's emotional. That's what we're trying to do,
Yeah, it definitely touches something. There's no doubt about that. So this might be an obvious question, so apologies if it is. But look, I understand you made things happen so as though Tim could record on the track. So is he the significant inspiration behind the release, or is this something you might have done anyway?
No, we again, this manager wanted us to do an album called The Supreme Fudge, in which we were going to do 3/4 Supreme songs and, maybe a couple of R&B songs, maybe one original. So the first song we came up with was this one. We started recording it in December 2019, and we just started hearing that Tim was really ill a couple of months before that. So we thought it might be really cool. We asked Tim, because he had stage 4 cancer at the time. I said, Tim, would you want to play on a couple of tracks? He said, yeah, I would love to play on a couple of tracks. But he was retired from the music business. He hadn't played a gig with us since 2010. We had this guy, Pete Bramey, who's been with us all this time. And Tim was his main influence. He sings like Tim. He did everything like Tim. So we knew Tim was going to play on the album. And so we did this one track, and then, we did it just before Christmas, and then we were going to, continue in 2020. And I said, well, look, I'm going to go to LA for the NAMM show. Why don't we try and get Tim on the track? He's really sick. You don't know how long he's going to last. Let's get him on the track, and then we can go from there. So I went to the NAMM show, and we went to my buddy Jorgen Carlson from Government Mule's bass player. And we went to his studio. We used his studio once before because we have a BBA live at the London Rainbow coming out. It's got 7 new songs on it, and we had to fix a few vocals. So, a couple of years ago, Tim went there before he was sick and fixed the vocals there. So he knew him, and we thought that would be a good place for him to go. So we went there, we put Tim down on it, and then we realized the drums were screwed up. So I had to fix the drums somewhere. So once we got Tim on there, we just left it. I had the multi-track on a hard drive, and then I moved from Connecticut to Florida, and I built this studio. And I was recording here, and then I got these old bass drums from my Cactus days. I sold it to somebody. I traded him, and he gave me the bass drums back. And these bass drums sound great. They're real old school. They sound great. So now I got my drum sound really together. So then I was ready to tackle that song and fix the drum sound because there was leakage from the organ and guitar and the other bass player all over my drums. So I couldn't release it like that, even with Tim on it. Even with Tim, when he played, he locked in with those drums. So when I played, I locked in with Tim. And then I gave it to my buddy, Pat Regan. He mixed it. And And while all that was going on, was from June, July of last year, COVID was COVID. So then it was like, there's no way we can do an album now because I'm the only one that has a studio, and nobody was flying anywhere. Nobody was doing anything. So our manager worked it out with Golden Robot. He said, since you got that one track done, why don't we release a single? So we said, okay. So then we went gung-ho to finish the single.
So, look, I think having a listen to it, if this is it for Vanilla Fudge, and it sounds like it could be, of course, it caps a glorious career. Your drums thunder along in only the way that you know how to do it, and the rest of the band do what they do best. And Tim's bass is just a thing of beauty as well, of course. But or is it the end for Vanilla Fudge from the perspective? Is there unreleased material in the vault featuring Tim that you have plans on releasing?
No, I think Atlantic released everything that we have, and we don't really have any extra things. I have stuff for Tim. I'm trying to get a tribute to Tim Bogart album. I have. When Mark Stein wasn't in Vanilla Fudge, we had another version of Vanilla Fudge, and Vinny wasn't in. It was me, Tim, Bill Biscali, and Teddy Rondinelli, Bobby Rondinelli's brother. And that band was really smoking. Teddy was a monster guitar player. And we did some new songs like Bye Bye Love, Falling by Alicia Keys, and Star Spangled Banner, and a whole bunch of other things. And Tim played unbelievable on it. So I released that on my own label as Bogart, Appice and Friends. So I took that and I added some other stuff that me and Tim did over the years. And I'm trying to get together a Bogart, Appice and Friends tribute to Tim.
Okay.
But as far as Vanilla Fudge, that's it. But I mean, if this does well, then we'll continue when COVID lightens up a bit, and we'll put an album together maybe of Supreme Fudge.
Yeah, that'd be killer. But look, you do have a new Cactus album coming out, I understand, called Tightrope.
We did that already. It came out in Cleopatra. It came out in May, something like that. But we didn't get to tour, so it didn't do as good as we wanted it to do, but we're not over with it yet. We're going to do another video, and we're going to do some dates this year, and then do some dates next year as well. But it's probably one of the best Cactus albums we've ever done. It's all over YouTube. It's called Tightrope, and you can listen to it on there. And like I said, I got this new album coming out called Energy Overload. It's an instrumental album.
Nice.
But it really kicks ass. I got a young kid. He's young to me. He's 42 years old. He's probably older than you.
I'm 43, so I'm flattered, but that's okay.
Well, there you go. Right. He's your age. And to me, he's a kid. He's like 30 years younger than me,
Yeah.
And we're really talented. He plays bass, guitar, keyboard. And we did this unbelievable instrumental album. We cut 18 tracks. And when I first set up my studio, that was the first track I ever did with him. And I thought, well, I'm going to work with this guy because he can keep sending me stems, we can write stuff. And I'm learning how to operate my studio, And then on this album, I got my first engineering credit,
Your first ever.
And I got the engineering credit on that Fudge record too, because I engineered the drums and a bunch of other things,
Good stuff.
But it's interesting, though.
Never too late to get an engineering credit, then clearly, is it?
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, and now we got 18 songs with me and Fernando, and we took 12 of them and put this album out, and we got 6 towards a new record already. So that's all good. And then I've been working on a box set of my Guitars record. It's 25th anniversary box set. It's going to be 4 LPs, 3 CDs, and the CDs are going to have some of the songs without any of the guitar players, without vocals, just unique stuff. It's going to have a medallion with my face logo on a chain, with a Guitar Zeus pick on the chain as well. And we did all new interviews with a bunch of the guitar players in a booklet. I'm going to have a new photo with my new image autographed in the album. And it's going to be a real box set. We have nice packaging. And then we got 3 new songs on it, in which you got Derek Sherinian playing keyboard like a guitar player, you know, from, Derek, right? You know who he is.
Yeah, from Dream Theater again.
Yeah. And we also got Tommy Thayer from Kiss playing one track. And we got this new band that I'm producing called Kodiak, like a Van Halen kind of band. So I put Chris from Kodiak on another track. And then I got a new track with Bumblefoot, new track with John Norum, and Japanese guitar player named Cha, a new track with him. So there's a lot of new stuff on it. And so we're coming out with that in November.
Okay. Gosh, you never slow down, do you?
No, I mean,
it's just all there.
And now that I got the studio, it's easy. I walk through my garage, everything's plugged in. Unfortunately, right now my studio's down because I had a lightning purge in the studio, burned up my computer, one of my Focusrites, and one of my screens. So tomorrow, my brother Vinny is a computer geek. He built the whole system for me and tested it at home. So I had to send it out to him. He rebuilt it, and I get it back tomorrow. So tomorrow, after my interviews, I'm gonna plug it back in and see and get it all working. So over the weekend, I'm gonna concentrate on getting it working because I got stuff to do. I got a King Cobra album we're working on now. Wow. You know, I'm producing this woman who's a really talented chick. I also wrote some Christian songs. I'm getting mixed now, and I did all the drums and a lot of stuff here. You know,
Christian songs. Tell me about them.
Well, you know, I almost died a couple of years ago from these nosebleeds I get. I was in the Canary Islands with my brother, and on the way back on the plane, I got a massive nosebleed, and they dropped me off in the Azores. I had to get medical airlift to Paris. That didn't work. Another medical airlift back. My nose was packed with gauze. By the time I got back to New York, 24 more hours, I would have been dead because it was all infected. So after that, I started listening to the Bible because I prayed to God to help me, you know, and I got through it. And then when I moved to Florida, the dog trainer we had, you know, saw that I was watching a Christian church that I used to go to in Connecticut on internet. He said, "Oh man, there's a great church here. You got to go." And I went to this church. Man, this church was unbelievable. The band was unbelievable, and it was like a revival. The energy level, people freaking out, dancing, singing. It was unbelievable. So and they had an electronic drum set, you know, which I sucked. So I called D-Drum and I got them a real drum set, you know, and now the drummer is a monster. This guy's an animal. I'm going to do a drum book with him on that to play Christian drumming, which is different than normal drumming. So I got involved with these people. And I started writing these Christian songs, and I got the singer and some of the female singers to play on it, the guitar player, and we came up with great Christian songs. And I listened to this Christian radio down here, and they're good songs. They're really good production, good songs. And there's one guy named Zach Williams that did the whole album with Dolly Parton. What an amazing album, you know? So I got into, I wrote 3 songs. And we're mixing them now. I'm going to try and get a Christian deal for it.
Well, good on you, mate. Yeah. Hey, just do a time check. How much time have I got left?
We got about 5 minutes.
All right. Gosh, I've got so many more questions, but let me pick one. All right. You played drums on Shine On Me and Live and Learn with the great Marty Friedman, talking about instrumental albums. What was it like working with Marty?
You know what? Working with Marty was great. But I don't remember the track at all because I haven't heard it in so long. But he was a great dude to work with. He's a nice guy and very talented, great player, great player. That's why I only work with great players. I don't do Joe Schmo's demos. You know, like the chick I'm doing, I'm producing and stuff. You know, she wanted me to play on a record. I said, look, I don't just play on records. She gets Kenny Arnoff to play on a record. I said, I don't just play on records, you know. I don't play in records that nobody knows them. Unless I listen to it and I like it, and I co-write it and produce it and get really involved. That's what I did with her. Yeah, that's the first one I've done, and I can't remember the last time I did something like that.
I'll go out with a bang. Here we go. What's the most underappreciated or undervalued aspect of your career that you think from a public perception?
I don't know, man. I don't know, really. Maybe the fact that, I came before Bonham. A lot of people don't understand that. They thought that there was nothing before Led Zeppelin,
Yeah.
And it used to be really bad until that Thunder of Drums record out, that record book came out. Because when I used to say, I did this first, I had the first big drum, so all the big drums, I had that first. No, dude, John Bonham had it. I'm not going to argue with anybody, because I was there, But, I don't know, I think the most underrated thing of appreciation is the fact that Vanilla Fudge is not in the Rock Hall of Fame. Because every band that we used to be on the charts with in the top 10, they're all in there, and we're not.
Yeah. I look
and we influenced so many people. Between me influencing drummer, Tim influencing bass players, the band influenced bands, and then we go on to become Cactus out of that, and then BBA. Just there's so much history there, but we're not in there.
Yeah, well, whilst the Hall I'm not having a dig at urban music here, but whilst the Hall ignores its own namesake and starts putting in musicians and artists that have got nothing to do with rock and roll, I can't understand why it's called Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
They should call it Music Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it shouldn't be rock and roll.
I said that years ago when they put a rapper in there. I said, come on, what's a rapper doing in there? It's not rock and roll.
Sorry, this is back into the set. It's my big thing.
I guess we're going. What was that?
Big thing. I've got to get a new camera. But look, I'll leave it there. I know you got another one coming up. Thank you for making the music that you've made.
If you want to do more, contact John.
Yeah,
we'll hook up some more in a couple of weeks or something. Okay.
Yeah, I will definitely. Yeah, no worries.
So I always loved Australia. I always loved playing there. I always loved the accent. Matter of fact, on my phone, I have Siri has an Australian accent.
Oh, good on you, mate. No, appreciate it. Feeling the love. That's awesome, mate. Yeah. Great
cool,
stuff.
Dude. All right, man. All right, cheers,
all right, thanks very much. Thanks, mate. Talk to you again.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
So there you have it, my conversation with one of the greatest rock and soul drummers of all time, Carmine Appice, or is it Appice? Either way, you know who I was talking to. He's the man. Hope we can connect sometime in the near future, and if we do, I shall post it on YouTube and also to the Scars and Guitars podcast via the usual channels. So if you like that one, go across to scarsandguitars.com where you can find over almost 600 episodes as I do this. So if you love what it is that if you love rock and metal and you like conversations, not interviews, conversations, you will like what it is that I do. So go across to scarsandguitars.com and have some fun, deep dive. You can also check it out via the Whooshka widget. I'm easily found, just Google me, Scars and Guitars, I'm the only one. I'd appreciate it if you could like, subscribe, share, but most of all leave a comment, because that is how we get ahead using social media algorithms these days. Comments are king. Positive comments too would be superb. Any negative stuff, anything you don't like, I don't know, I don't really care, to be honest with you, but leave it and I'll probably address it that way, but whatever. We've all got busy lives, haven't we? You people listening, I know I do. My name's Andrew Mackay-Smith, and I'm the host of the Scars and Guitars podcast series. Thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, it is goodbye for now.